Hi folks, this is a model and rendering of a Tesla Roadster that I did in April 2020. I wanted to just go through some of the high-level modeling of this object, of this design asset. So in the bottom right corner, you see the kind of final rendering, and I added some interesting lights in the background to give some um, something to look at back there. I'll go ahead and remove those. And that's the car itself. If we take it out of the camera view, we'll just take a look at the kind of the lighting setup. These are the lights I used to give to show some of the contours of the car body. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a peek at the geometry itself. How is this car constructed? So in order to get this smooth body, I tried a lot of different techniques, including using Fusion 360, which I think is a really great tool for this type of curvy body modeling. But I just stuck with Cinema 4D and decided to instead just explore, to go pretty manually and place all these dots in 3D space and then apply a smoothing filter on top of that. So let me go ahead and show some parts of this body, the points on this body. So we can go ahead and select a point, and then we can move it up and down, and that changes the geometry that's reflected, of course. And just to give a sense of what this looks like in terms of the car itself, we can select a point, say here. Let me get a perspective that could highlight this change. So this is slightly off the center towards the right-hand side of the car in the car's perspective. If I pull this point up, you'll see that there's a smooth change to the entire car body, but that's due to the subdivision surface filter applied on top of the geometry. And without that smoothing, we can see they're just two bumpy, two little bumps on the car body. So we can put that back on. We can manipulate all sorts of points on this mesh to give us different geometries, and it still looks very smooth. Something that was very hard to model was this particular detail in the geometry. We can see here, let me go ahead and turn off the subdivision surface. We can see here, for example, that yeah, even what I've modeled so far, I wouldn't say is like super acceptable. But there's a lot of like fine details that need to go into modeling a car, and especially if this car is going to be like used in like used for real, for real manufacturing. An interesting part of the car geometry that I really like modeling was this little divot back here. I believe it's an aerodynamically useful feature of the car, but then again, like it required a lot of fine-tuned editing of these, these points in the design. Yeah, that's a high-level model. That's a high-level overview of how I modeled the car body of the Tesla Roadster. The back of the car body is still very much a work in progress. The geometry at this point in the at this place in the car is exceedingly complicated, and maybe this tool is not the right one. But yeah, thanks for watching.